So, Valve is taking another crack at conquering the living room, but this time feels different. They've got a secret weapon, something they were missing before, and honestly, it could completely shake up the console wars. Let's break down exactly what this new family of hardware from Valve means for all of us.
Okay, so Valve just dropped this absolute bombshell of an announcement, and they led with this one line. Right away you knew, this isn't just a Steam Deck 2. No, this is way, way bigger. We're talking about a whole new strategy for their hardware.
So, why is everyone so excited? What's the big deal here? Well, to really get it, you've got to go back in time. We need to look at Valve's first attempt to get into the living room, which, let's be honest, was kind of a famous failure. But that history, it's the key to understanding everything they're doing now.
Yeah, think back over a decade ago. Valve comes out with this thing called the Steam Machine Initiative. And on paper, the idea was just brilliant, right? You take the gigantic open world of PC gaming and cram it into a simple little box you can plug into your TV. But in the real world, it was a total flop.
So what went wrong? Well, looking back, it really boils down to a couple of huge problems. First, the software. This Linux-based operating system, it just wasn't ready for prime time when it came to gaming. And second, Valve let a bunch of different companies make the hardware. So one Steam machine was totally different from the next, with performance and prices all over the place. You just never knew what you were going to get.
And just look at this timeline. See that huge, quiet gap between 2015 and 2022? That's 7 years of radio silence. It just goes to show you how long it took for Valve to go back to the drawing board, figure out what went wrong, and finally crack the code. And the thing that cracked that code? The Steam Deck. I mean, what a game changer. It wasn't just a hit, it was a smash hit. It completely rewrote the playbook for PC handhelds and proved, once and for all, that Valve's big idea could actually work. This was the win they needed so badly. And here's the absolute key. The Steam Deck solved the single biggest problem from the old Steam machines, the software. They took Linux, which can be kind of tricky, and turned it into their own SteamOS. And suddenly, you had this smooth, powerful, just works experience that could run a ton of PC games right out of the box. And Valve is being super open about this. They're literally saying the Steam Deck's success created the DNA for this new lineup. The big lesson they learned? You've got to control the hardware and the software. They have to work together perfectly. Plus, you need to bake in all those little features that gamers love, like quick resume and those super customizable controls. Okay, so now they've got this winning DNA, and they're not just making one new thing, no, they're launching an entire family of new hardware, and it's all designed to play nicely together. First up, we've got the new Steam controller. And just think about this. They're taking all the best parts of the Steam Deck's controls, those awesome trackpads, the gyro aiming, the paddles on the back, and they're putting it all into one slick, premium controller. Next, the main event, the new Steam Machine. This is it. This is the real successor to that old living room dream, a powerful little gaming PC for your big screen. But the huge difference this time? Valve is in complete control. And to round out the family, there's the Steam Frame. This is their next-generation VR headset. And the big deal here is that it's totally wireless. You can either run games right on the headset itself or stream them from your new Steam machine. It's super versatile. So you see how it all fits together, right? It's a whole ecosystem. You've got the controller for the Steam machine on your TV, but you can also use that same controller with the Steam Frame for VR. Everything talks to everything else, all powered by Steam. And get this, the whole shebang is supposed to launch in early 2026.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Under the hood, what kind of horsepower are we really talking about with this new Steam machine? I mean, is it a real threat to the big consoles?
Valve was actually pretty open with the specs, which is cool to see. And it's packing some serious modern AMD tech inside. A Zen 4 CPU, an RDNA 3 GPU, and check this out, the system RAM is upgradable. That's a classic PC move in a box that looks like a console.
So what does all that tech speak mean for performance? Well, the folks over at Digital Foundry think it's going to land somewhere between an Xbox Series S and a PlayStation 5. So it's not trying to be the absolute most powerful thing out there, but it should be a beast for 1440p gaming and even do some 4K, especially when you use upscaling tech like FSR. But there is one little red flag that analysts have pointed out, and that's the 8 GB of video memory, or VRAM. Basically, that's the GPU's super fast memory for all the graphics and textures. And for today's most demanding 4K games, which have these gigantic textures, 8 gigs, it's a little tight.
it could definitely become a bottleneck down the road.
And all of this, it brings us to the one single most important question. The one thing that will decide if this whole thing succeeds or if it fails just like the original. And it's the one detail Valve is still keeping completely secret.
So they've got the tech, they figured out the software, they've built this whole ecosystem. What's the last piece of the puzzle?
It's the price. It all comes down to the price. Valve hasn't said a word, but all the analysts are saying the same thing. To even have a fighting chance, this thing needs to cost somewhere between $400 and $500.
And if they can hit the low end of that range, say $400, that's what everyone is calling the sweet spot. At that price, the Steam Machine becomes a really tempting alternative to a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox. I mean, you'd be getting all the freedom of a PC for the price of a console.
And really, that's the whole ballgame right there. If Valve absolutely nails the price, they're not just selling you another piece of hardware. They're selling a whole new idea for what living room gaming can be. A world where you don't have to choose between the simplicity of a console and the freedom of a PC. So the big question isn't just, will people buy it? It's, are Sony and Microsoft even ready for this?